Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Yoruus speaking and welcome to the summary video for multiplayer game number 110. As usual, I got a headphone in my ear. As usual, spoiler alert, if you do not want to know how the game went, stop watching this video right now and go to the first position of the playlist where the actual game starts. Okay? You have been warned. So I invite you to watch the summary. So this game was played on 3rd of January. It was streamed on Twitch, so if you have watched that game there, it's exactly the same game. I've got in this game Sainted Whale, a new face in this free-for-alls on weekends, playing as Morocco, Enki Shumi 16 playing as Zulus, Twinsen playing as Korea, Tony the Bum playing as Greece, and Joe playing as Rome. And I've got India. I believe this one was drafted. That fruit draft. It's named correctly. Yeah, I think so. I'm gonna post the link down in the description below to that website with the draft, so you can check it out if you want to organize a game. This is the website we use. I mean, like me, Filthy, Arvius, and basically all the people, probably, well, most of the people that play free-for-alls and want to draft, they use that, so definitely check it out. So I've got India. I rolled India. I don't remember exactly what was my picks, but probably if you watch the game, or you will watch the game at the start, that information should be there. But I rolled India and I rolled this to start, and I was like thinking, this looks cool. This looks cool. It's not like a dream start, because the dream start for me is definitely granary resources. It's like super dream start. I'm like improving stone and like getting that oomph out of stone. It's not really that cool, but for the start it's perfect. It's a 2-foot 1-hammer tile, which is nice. I also see quite a lot of food, and I mean like quite a lot of food, rivers, even hills that I can put farms on, well, except of course the copper, and I see copper. I did see desert, and I was thinking like, go to the desert, try to get a Petra, but I was thinking like, this spot is so good, and since there's Morocco in the game, probably I will not be able to get Petra anyways. So instead of moving, like stepping on a horse or like moving away from something good, I decided to actually stay in here and plant my city here. Now, before we will start, I just wanted to say a couple of words about the civilization that are in games. As I said, there's like Zulus, Korea, and Greece. Now, you're probably wondering, why am I not mentioning about Morocco and Rome? Though I personally very much enjoy playing Rome, because those civs have, you could say, nothing special in them, right? I'm like, they cannot surprise you with anything. Now, well, maybe that's the wrong word. You don't need to like put special attention to those civs like you would to any other civ. It's just like a normal civ with some boosts, but not really something great. Now, Korea, Greece, and Zulus are very powerful civs in their own field, basically. So let's start off with, let's say, Greece. Now, Greece, as it stands right now, is a beast. Is a beast on a free-for-all when people are very reluctant lately to take out city-states. Now, if a Greece player allies a city-states, he will not lose influence on that city-states whatsoever. So, gaining allies with city-states demands a little bit of effort. If you once put an effort in it, it will not diminish unless somebody will go like full patronage just to do it, which theoretically, I'm not even sure that it will work that well anyways. So Greece is like a natural diplomatic victory contender, or just a diplomatic pain in the butt. That's Greece. In Civ, of course. Do not feel offended if you're from Greece. Now, diplomatic, you know, Alright, alright, alright. Korea. Korea is very, very powerful civ, science civ. Now, you could say like, okay, but I mean, like, that's only +2. That's exactly +2. So Korea, until the mid-game, normal civ. Theoretically, normal civ. After the mid-game, like, is like a boom in science. So very, very strong civ game, science game on Korea. And then we come to the Zulus, and on top of that, played by Shumi. Zulus are an amazingly strong war civ during the whole duration of the game. Less maintenance on land units, super crazy. Impies, Ikanda bonuses, oh man. And on top of that, units demand less experience to get promotions. What that basically means is you build barracks, you build armor, you build military academy, and boom, you've got planes with 3 promotions. You get units with 3 promotions. So that's just super crazy. Every other civ needs to go either autocracy to achieve that or get Brandenburg Gate to achieve that. So Zulus get that for free, no problem. So it's a very, very powerful warmongering civ. And said that, I think Shumi from the start, though it was clear at the late game, was trying to get a domination victory with Zulus in this game. Alright, let's hop on next. Okay, take it easy, Yes, it's an India game. Yes, it's an India game, and yes, it's turn 64 and I've got only 14 science, and I'm losing gold, and my timing on National College will be very, very late, if you can see on this map. And on top of that, this is tradition. So yes, this is tradition. So, how to explain myself? Well, I like the land very, very much. You would say like, why did you expand so much so fast? I would agree to saying that was a little tiny bit of a mistake, and probably it would be wiser to open 3 cities instead of 6 cities before National College. But that of course is said after the game. But what I did in this game is I did open 6 cities with India, going on tradition. And I was struggling badly. At the start of the game, I was struggling with gold, I was struggling with science, I was struggling with barbarians, I was even struggling with the lack of workers, basically, because I did not steal any workers. So I was struggling in the early game. Now, thankfully, I was in a good spot. But I will talk about the spot a little bit later on. For now, I will just say about what I see. Now, what I see is I haven't met anybody on the west side. Now, on the south side, there's like a 4-tile passage, and there's Morocco, who went Great Lipe, Petra, as I said, Morocco in the game. Oh, excuse me. So, and he got all of that. My scout did get past there, and there was like still like a 4 or 5 tile passage until my scout met Joe, and after he met Joe, he met Tony the Bomb. So it would seem my only closest neighbor is actually Morocco. So figuring that out, I said to myself like, oh, excuse me. I said to myself like, he's OCCing right now. Okay, let's expand in his way, so I will get a front line of some sort. And after that, so I did plant those 2 cities. After that, okay, the land is so cool, let's expand even more. So there was absolutely not a good idea, and most probably a 3-city international college opening would be so much more viable. Not only I would probably have more population in those 3 cities right now, I could start off and see probably like now, right? Probably like now. And instead of that, I will be able to start and see in 15 turns, and probably for the next 15 turns also I will be struggling badly with happiness and losing gold. So you could say early game, not really that great. But let's go to turn 100. As usual, I like to show off turn 100. So if you watch the games, you can compare how the empire looked at turn 100. Here we are, turn 100, and woohoo! Choo choo! Education, turn 100. So. Again, so. This is my empire. It's not looking that great for population cities at turn 100. It's not really what you are looking for. Let's be totally honest. This looks bad. This looks terribly bad, but thankfully, as I mentioned earlier on, my position was perfect. So my initial thought process about expanding to 6 cities before NC was a horrible idea, but thanks to the geopolitical situation in the map, I was starting to get away with it, basically. And why? That's a good question. Because there's 4-tile passage to Morocco, which was very peaceful, very peaceful to me. On the other side of Morocco, there's Rome and Tony the Bomb. They are not connected to me by land, unless he would like swarm all the units through the ocean, which is available at Astronomy, and I would probably see those. I've got only 2 cities on the coast on this side, so it's not really like worth getting in here, and I still do not know if it's possible to actually get in here. So no real threat from this side. Now on the other side, we've got Zulus and Korea. Korea has no intention to get in here. He did not expand this way. He expanded later on. He has no cities on this side, so he can't attack my 1 city here. And on top of that, he's got Zulus, played by Shumi, and he's his closest threat. So theoretically, I'm no threat for him yet. And Shumi is connected to Korea by a city-state on land. So as soon as he takes out city-state, it basically Korea knows, okay, he goes in here by land, or I know he goes in here by land. Either he will embark the units and get to us. So the situation seems like a little bit obvious that Zulus want to, most probably, since he got a coastal capital, tremendously good. He's in tremendously good shape. Tons of hammers, very nice science, and he is Zulus, so he wants to use those hammers in units. So if he has access, he has no access by sea to me, but if he has access to Korea, Korea is his like first target. It's like, I want to kill Korea first. So I'm in a perfect spot to get away with my horrible idea for the start of this game. It's looking more and more optimistic in each turn. With each turn that passes, unique ability of India is starting to kick in, finally. So basically playing India theoretically caused me troubles in the early game, but also is starting to allow me to compensate for my failed decision at the start of the game, thanks to their ability. Probably still, if I would went to city in 10C, I would be most probably in a better shape, but who knows. I did what I did, and it was slowly, very slowly starting to go on the right track. Turn 120. Korea lost capital to Shumi's Zulu's frigates. Not only he lost his capital, but he almost did not defend whatsoever. Now, we had a little bit of an argument with Twinsend that again he played horribly. Well, he tried to defend, well, horribly, maybe it's a wrong word, horribly, but he did not prepare any defense whatsoever. He did like totally risk glass cannon. And his explanation about that was that he failed to get Petra because Morocco took it first, and then his game just shattered in pieces. So what can I say? I mean, like, he's Korea still, and it's really totally stupid when you're on coast close to Zulus, played by Shumi, that you will not get any defense on against frigates. That's just totally unwise. I know you can try to risk sometimes, like totally glass cannon stuff, but like Shumi frigates against Korea, that's like 2 + 2 = 4. It was so obvious that somebody's gonna be a target for Zulu's frigates, and like the best target is of course Korea, because he's the only one that can pose a real threat to Shumi. He's the fastest target for Shumi's frigate to get there. So it's like, it was so obvious for everybody except Twinsend this time. So Twinsend is out of the game on turn 120, killed by Shumi. And Shumi's not only that he was a leader of the game, he also just got another capital. Bad Shumi. And a very bad situation for all the other people. So now, I knew that, well, first of all, I was not really in a position to be a leader of this game. I think the only demographics that I was catching up to was food. Finally, food. And population, maybe. I'm not even sure if population at this point of the game. So there was no real incentive for me to even try to catch up to anybody, because I was doing so poorly at the start of the game. Everybody probably would figure out like he cannot recover fast from that. And in my mind it was like, that card I want to play with right now do not seem to be a threat whatsoever. So yes, that's mostly the strategy for me that I like. I like to look weak when I'm really not, and let others be targets first. But it's like the way you can win a free-for-all versus very good players. Either you have a tremendously good advantage, or you're tremendously lucky, or you just want to play a little bit in the shadows, right? And that's my way. Look weak, and then at the right moment just do your stuff. Alright, let's go forward. Okay, turn 157. Research Labs. I finally got a tag for Research Labs, turn 157. That's really late. And as you can see, my empire, it's not really that cool. I mean, like, the cities finally grew. Delhi is quite nice, and other cities are getting there too. I think I am the food leader right now, but I'm definitely not the science leader. Now, oh, excuse me, there's one more player in this game that also likes to look weak when he's really not, and is very good at it, and that's Tony the Bomb. And he did look weak in this game, but Shumi called his bluff. Shumi went for a battleship attack. Well, I'm not sure if that was even a rush, if he went for research lab first, or that he went for battleships first. But he did go for battleships. He did upgrade all the frigates he got, and he went to attack Tony's coastal city. Tony had only 3 cities, but suddenly, well, but he had a capital mountain, if I remember correctly. By suddenly, Tony, like, boom, science leader. He's got planes, he's got stuff, and that attack from Shumi was like a blessing from me. Because first of all, Tony did burn scientists before he really wanted to. Secondly, he had tons of gold, and he used that gold to defend himself. And it took quite a lot of time for Shumi to actually get there, because it seemed like Tony did try to prepare against battleship attacks with submarines, but sadly, of course, super promoted Zulu's ships just slaughtered his fleet. But he still had like bought himself some time. He did lose the city eventually, but he did retook it, and they fought for quite a long time. Very, very, very long time they fought, really. So that attack from Shumi on Tony was a real true blessing. Now, I have absolutely no idea. Well, I do have an idea why Shumi attacked Tony, because in his mind, he knew I had a very, very slow start. Tony had a very good start. Tony is not really threatened by anybody, and he's on the other side of the world. So theoretically, reaching Tony and slowing down Tony is so much more important than trying to do anything to me, since I'm barely at research labs at turn 157. So I would guess from Shumi's perspective that was a correct decision to attack Tony, but I also expect that he did not expect that Tony will be able to actually put up a fight. And that was awesome for me. And Tony knew this. Most probably he knew this, that he could not theoretically fight. Maybe he should just leave that city to die and focus on land before stealth or XCOM. And maybe that would be wise from his part, just to let go of the coastal city, maybe retake it without any threats with some bombers. Theoretically, Shumi, I don't think he had bombers there with carriers, I have no idea. Just let it go, lay low, try to defend himself, prepare defenses for eventual Shumi's invasion, instead of putting production and effort into defending that coastal city. Maybe that would be wiser, but he did put effort to defend that coastal city, and it was absolutely perfect for me. Joe was slowly trying to get for a science victory. Very, very slowly. Korea is dead. Shumi is fighting with Tony. Tony is fighting with Shumi. And Morocco, sadly, somewhere in the mid-game, he fall a little bit behind. So I don't think anybody really considered him a threat at this point. And for me, it was also a perfect situation, because I was not really worried at this stage for that I'm going to be attacked by Morocco, and Morocco was a lovely trading partner. Somewhere around this part, I was thinking like, uh-oh, Yoruus, you can do it. You can do it. So what my plan was: focus science, focus gold, focus culture, and focus defenses against XCOM and stealth. Because I don't think Blitz XCOM was banned in this game. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe, they were banned in this game. So that was my goals, and that's what I was trying to do. But a hope for a victory sneaked in somewhere around this turn, because, as I said, I did play poorly at the start of this game. So, let's go for it. End. This is turn 201. I would win already, but there's a slight tiny issue. As you can see, I invested in defenses a lot. My capital has 229 combat strength, but that's not enough. And I'm surrounded by tons of mobile Sams. But that's absolutely not enough because, as I said, Shumi is playing Zulus, and he's got tons and tons of promotion on every single unit he's got. So stealth bombers are just like boom, boom, boom. XCOM dropping everywhere, pillaging whatever they want, unkillable by mobile Sam. I have no bombers myself. I did not have the time to get bombers. Maybe I should have built up a couple of bombers, but I thought that like mobile SAMs are so much important because stealth are going to be like kabam, 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 and mobile SAMs and all the units will be dying like in 2-3 shots. So I was definitely investing in mobile SAMs. You can see that I gathered quite a bunch of them, but there was still not enough. I did lose my capital couple of turns. I couldn't launch the last part from my capital. I'm missing one damn single part, but I cannot launch it because I will lose the capital. And I cannot launch it because I don't have aluminium. My aluminium got pillaged. And I did not pre-build recycling centers, and that was also such a horrible mistake. I should have done that. I should have sold buildings, buy at least one recycle center. I should have expected that he will pillage my aluminium, and it was a huge mistake. I did have gold. Well, you asking like you could buy them right now. Well, I figured that out too late that I need to buy a recycling center. Was gathering money for the last part. So this is turn 201. I need 3.2k gold to win. How do I get not only I need 3.2k gold to win, but I also need a place to launch the last part. Now, this is the tricky part, right? And hey kitty, and let me show you why. And this is why. Look at this. I'm slaughtered. 4 turns later, I'm slaughtered, right? There's no more army in 4 turns. Like, there's no more army. My cities are falling like dominoes. Everything is dying. Joe even declared war on me because he was afraid that I'm gonna go to space. But I did get cash to buy a recycling center. So I did buy a recycling center, I think in Mumbai. And I've got 2 aluminium, and I do have cash. To buy the last part. Now the tricky parts start. Shumi already took my capital like 2 times, no, 1 time. He took my capital 1 time, I retook it, and after that he focused on killing my units because my capital just dropped down like crazy. Only those 2 times, I don't remember correctly. But basically, there's nothing to defend it. It is easily takeable by those units in here. And that's the tricky part, basically. If you haven't watched the game, definitely check out the last part, this moment of the game, because it was like it was all on Shumi basically. I couldn't really do much because gathering gold for the next part would be almost impossible. So what Shumi should do there, I've got 2 options basically. Option number 1, I wait out the timer until the last second, buy the part, and hope that Shumi cannot fast click and like either cancel the timer and kill my capital instantly, or fast click on me on the next turn, so I will not be able to launch the spaceship part first before he will be able to take my capital. And since my capital every single turn is at 0 health, that probably would need only to be like boom 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 XCOM, boom 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 XCOM. And I need to do 2 things. I need to get to select the part and I need to launch it, so it's like boom boom, and he just needs to go right click and boom 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 boom. So it's a true risk, unless he would not put attention or anything like that. But I was like asking him every single turn, you're gonna take my capital, you're gonna take my capital. And I was saying like, I don't have aluminium, I don't have recycling centers, and blah 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 blah. And what he did take my capital this turn. There we go. And this is it. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Mumbai happened to be my next capital. And yes, you're correct. Next turn. Next turn. And Yoruus goes to space. And I was like, bam! Turn 206. Capital is down. 0 army, 0 everything. But India goes to space. Of course, it doesn't want to go beyond Earth, but it wants to go to space. I guess that's the same thing, but this button aggravates me so damn much. Go beyond Earth. No, I don't want to go beyond Earth. Anyways, I launched the last part thanks to Shumi mistake, and I will be totally honest. I won at the end because Shumi made a mistake. Shumi made a mistake. How could he do this differently? Well, actually, it's kind of hard to tell. Maybe he should focus more on all the other cities. Well, I'm not even sure he could, like... Well, basically the best chance for him, since I was missing one part, it was definitely keeping my capital at 1 turn, 1 HP, and be, like, on lookout every single turn. He would be, like, watching my capital, having an XCOM selected, or a stealth bomber selected, and he would be like... okay, let's try it, and okay, he bought the part, no, alright, okay, so let's do something else, right? So he has like all the timer before re-rolling to like take some action and decide what to do. So that would be like the best choice from him, just leave my capital alone. I made myself a huge mistake because I did retake the capital. That was absolutely unnecessary. I probably shouldn't have done that. But that was my mistake, and Shumi made did not learn from my mistake or from his mistake, because he did take that capital, and he actually made the mistake one more time. So he did take that capital, and that allowed me to freely, totally, easily buy the part in Mumbai and launch it in my next capital, and that was amazing. What he should have done, he should like keep an eye on my capital, leave it be, take all the other cities, and as soon as all my other cities are dead, just boom, take my capital. Yes, it's risky, but I didn't have money for another part for a long time, probably for another 10 turns, so yes, he would need to keep an eye on my capital, and perhaps he would lose the fast click, but I think that would be a better option in the long run. But anyways, I'm super happy. I'm super happy that my mistakes at the early game allowed me to win in the... Well, the mistakes allowed me to win. That's like a contradiction. But though I made mistakes in the early game, I was able to win at the end. Sadly, well, happily, this is like my 3 games win streak, but if you have watched the stream, you know that the next games did not go that well. So my streak has ended. So this was like a 3 games win streak against Shumi and all the other persons. That's really cool. One of them was a culture victory, so that's even more cooler. I'm thinking more and more that like a culture is doable, science is doable, diplomatic, there's like 2 victory types I still need to get, well, except conceding, that doesn't count. Domination and diplomatic. I haven't done those victories, and maybe it's time to take a closer look at those types of victory and try to aim for those kind of victories. That would be pretty amazing to achieve either a domination victory or a diplomatic victory. That would be great. I haven't done that, I think, in any of my games yet, except like a concede in the early game, but that would be amazingly cool. So one more time, thank you well, one more time, I didn't say that yet. Thank you very much for the game. To everybody who played, thank you very much for everybody who watched it on Twitch, and thank you very much you for watching this video. And one more time, thank you very much for all the donations that you give me, that allows me to stream, and it's actually awesome and amazingly awesome. And if you haven't watched the game, I invite you to watch this game. The link should be in here to the first position of the playlist, but as you already know from my perspective, early game, total disaster, mid game, catching up, and late game, like just, don't look at me, I want to go to space. But it did happen, and Gandhi did go to space this time. So, one more time, thank you very much for watching. I invite you to watch the game if you haven't done it yet, and hopefully this will be uploaded before the weekend. So I invite you to, on Friday and Saturday, 10 p.m. GMT +1 for a meeting with me with Sif. So one more time, thank you very much for watching, and best wishes. Yoruus.